Welcome to the Uncommon Career Podcast, where you get clear direction, a persuasive brand, and a competitive strategy that moves you forward. My name is Patricia, and I'm your host and career coach. Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are talking to Harsh Garg once again, and he's going to share how to get into a field when your degree is seemingly not applicable. Now he comes out of IT, artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, but the insights he's going to share today are applicable across any industry. So let's get started with today's episode. Welcome, Harsh. How are you?
I'm good and glad to be back. Thanks for inviting me again. How are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing good now. I think we're going to have a really good conversation, so I'm looking forward to it.
Same here, Patricia.
Well, I can't assume that everyone has listened in when you first came on board and
Right.
guested earlier this year. So why don't you start at the beginning? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, uh, coming to my, career and background, I'm an IT guy by profession and a career coach by passion. I have around 20 years of IT experience. I have played different roles, starting from team lead, project manager, testing transformation enabler. And then recently, I have started career coaching, sharing my experiences with people, especially spouses who are coming with their husband or wives from different part of the world. But when they want to start working, they don't know where to start from because there is no step-by-step plan they can follow to, start working. And it's a different country, different job market. So it's a little bit tricky to, get started with it. So whatever I have learned here in 13, 14 years in the US, I just wanted to share my experiences and learnings. So that's where I am, trying to help people as many as possible. So let's see how long it goes.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that they have you in their corner to help them with all of this. And that brings your expertise here, right? You've helped people get into IT, get into data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, et cetera. All of these are highly technical fields, but the people that you help don't always have those technical degrees. And
Right.
so what would you say to someone who thinks that they need a specific degree in order to get hired in these fields?
I think, in my opinion, when it comes to the IT field, developing skill is more important than earning a degree. Because if you have a computer science degree, but if you don't know how to code, then that will not help you. That will not get you a job. But other way around is, if you know the skill, you have developed your expertise, even though you don't have a degree, you can easily get a good job. For example, if you know the data science concept, you know Python, you can land a job quickly. So this is my opinion. If it may be a different field, not IT field, then the scenario may be different. But when it comes to IT field, developing a skill is more important. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. And I know I've heard some people that mention, I got this certificate from, Coursera or from Google, right? And now they're like, I have the certificate, but I don't have any, paid experience. What would you say to them to say, okay, here's the next step you can take to get yourself in?
So I would suggest, you have to start from somewhere, right? Sometimes you will get lucky, you will land to the job early in your job search phase, but that's not possible every single time with everyone. So what I would suggest, you start looking for different opportunities, even though it's a smaller one. For example, you can create your profile on freelancing websites who offer freelancing work like Fiverr or Upwork, and things like that. And you can start working on smaller projects. So as far as you are getting to work on any skill hands-on, that will, add to your profile, add to your experience, and that will enhance your resume. Another example that you can do is you can reach out to the local communities like a church, an NGO, or something similar to that, because they don't have too much money to invest, hiring IT people. So you can offer your help since you have the skill, and you can help them create a website, test the existing software. That will not only help them, but it will help you also to develop and practice your skill. So that's what I would suggest, and slowly and gradually you will be able to enhance your resume, and I'm sure you will land a good job.
Absolutely. I always think, now, especially nowadays when we're moving slightly away from degrees and into certificates in some fields,
Right.
um, that does require just a little bit of extra entrepreneurship skills, right? To
Right.
pull on and say, I'm going to find some work for myself. I'm going to do a great job. It's going to be a win-win for that organization and for me. And now
Right.
not only do I have that experience, I also have the recommendation from them. So
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Well, it can often be heard that it's really scary to make a drastic career change. And I know so many folks who are making a career change into a technical field, but they're coming out of something like communications, psychology, right? And um, sometimes they're like, okay, well, my degree is not even remotely related, right? For that group of folks, what do you think stops people the most? Like, what's the one thing they should kind of overcome in order to move forward?
I think why people, get scared or overwhelmed, because they try to learn everything at once by seeing the curriculum. Okay. For
Mm,
example, I want to learn Python. Okay. I have not any experience in Python or IT or any programming language. But when I see the curriculum, it's like 100 topics in Python. If I want to consider 100 topic at once, I will get overwhelmed, right?
hmm
So my suggestion would be take a step-by-step process, divide that curriculum into different days or weeks, depending on your comfort level, and then keep some time aside, dedicated time aside for your learning every single day. Okay. And so, for example, 1 hour each day. Okay. Depending on your situation, sometimes you can give more time. Some people can't give, couple of hours. So depending on how much time you can provide, keep that in your learning plan, and no matter what, stick to that. And trust me, after a couple of weeks, you will be amazed to see your progress, and that will give you motivation to keep moving forward. So don't get bogged down by the hundred or thousands of topic of skill. Take one day at a time. And coming back to, you mentioned about account and finance and real estate folks, right? And the marketing as well, right? So if they want to transition to IT for account and finance folks, I would suggest data analyst. They can start with, because the basic skill set needed, one of the basic skill set needed for data analyst is mathematics and statistics, and accounting and finance guys are pretty strong in that area.
hmm
So they just need to complement that mathematics skill with technology. They will flourish like anything in data analyst. And if somebody is more ambitious, they want to go to the next level, after some time, they can go to the data scientist skill set. So that is like more advanced. They will get more compensation as well.
And they still
As
wouldn't
for
need the degree for data science.
they don't need a degree. They just need to develop their skill set. I mean, if they have a normal graduate degree, that will suffice. It's not necessary that they have to have computer science or IT graduation degree. It's not required. The only requirement is the skill. The
Mm-hmm.
skill is required. Coming back to the real estate folks, there are a lot of things they can do. They can start with software testing or web development. And why I'm referring or recommending these skills, because these skills are very easy to learn, and there are opportunities in these area as well. But I would also recommend, our current technology landscape, everything is moving towards AI, ML, chat GPT, and things like that, right?
Mhm.
So if we see like 5 years down the lane, the traditional skill set may not flourish that much. So it's a good starting point, but
Mm.
after a few years, you will have to develop a different skill. Once you are comfortable with IT, you can either pivot to data science, data analyst, marketing specialist, or things like that, which are going to be there for a long time. That's
Mm.
what my suggestion would be. And did you mention about the marketing guys as well, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah, actually, that was one of the questions is, folks who are in marketing, communications, education, areas that aren't traditionally focused on the numbers and the measures as much as the folks in finance and accounting. What areas might they consider?
I think specifically for marketing guys, they are coming from strong marketing background. So if they complement that marketing skill set with analytics, they can be very good digital marketing specialist. Okay, and another area of expertise they can see content manager or content strategist. A lot of companies, smaller or bigger, doesn't matter. Okay, they need people who can manage their website or their not only the website but the content of the websites. Okay, so
Mm.
they can learn the technology, how to manage the website, how to create content, and complement that with their marketing skill. So those two skills I would recommend. There may be number of things, but they can utilize their existing skill for these two roles.
Mm.
uh, Coming to communication, there are number of opportunities for communication.
Mm.
Ad tech industry is booming right now. Okay, everybody is uploading their videos. They are teaching something, right? I was watching a data analyst video like other day.
Mm.
So if you're coming from education communication background, that will be a very good transition point. You can either become an instructor in an edtech company or an online training company, where you can give the training. No matter what training you are giving, you can give in communication.
Mhm.
Or if you want to go into pure IT, you can complement your communication skill with IT and teach or create, the training programs, online training programs using your communication skill set.
Mm.
um, Another skill set which we talked about for marketing guys, which was content creator or content strategist. Communication guys can also do the same because they are strong in communication. They can easily leverage that background, to become a content manager or content strategist. You mentioned about the edtech folks, right, who are coming
Yes.
from education background.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
So a lot of opportunities for them. They can either open their own edtech company, like smaller company, which can be focused on a specific skill set. For example, they can teach mathematics. Okay,
Mm.
they just need to learn few tools, how to create the training program. There are a number of tools available. If you don't want to do that, you can join an edtech company where you can create the training program for that company. Okay,
Mm.
and you can develop your own online courses,
Mm.
and just upload it to your portal, and people will be able to watch and leverage your skill and experiences from them. So a lot of opportunities for education guys. It's not like that if you are purely from education background you cannot pivot to IT. You can definitely pivot. Opportunities are immense. So that's all I think for education background guys, I would say.
Mm. This is really helpful information. I think sometimes people don't realize there's some doors that are open that they may
Yes.
not see, right? And one of the biggest questions that I get are, the fact that, I'm going to need to start all over. And what you're saying is basically you can keep your foundation and bring it with you and then just
Yes.
add another layer. And that layer is whether it's analytics or technology, the ed tech side um, so that's really helpful. The other big question that I get is, am I going to need to take a major pay cut? And there's folks, let's assume someone's at like the 70, 80, 90, right? They're right around there. They're thinking if I stay in this field, I can maybe reach six figures. If I
Mhm.
change, I'm going to need to go down to 40 or 50. Is that really true? Is there opportunities that can sort of leverage your background to stay or even leverage it to move up in your salary?
I don't think it's always true. It all depends on your current situation. I mean, what is your current position and compensation? Okay. Not all people who are pivoting to IT are coming from a very good job
Mhm.
background or compensation. If you are in a leadership position, but in a different work stream like production or manufacturing, you may have a good pay. And if you're planning to pivot to IT, then that may be a scenario where initially you need to take a pay cut, but not a drastic pay cut because the starting salary for a basic IT job, is pretty decent. It will
Mhm.
start from 60, 70K. And if you are coming from a, not so leadership role, or for example, I'll give you a classic example. A lot of people, work for production companies on daily wages, right? Who help uh, them to either packaging or moving the stuff from here to there. They are not, highly paid. Okay. And if they are trying to pivot to IT, it will be a significant addition to their household income. So it's not always true that if you are pivoting to IT from a well-established job, you will have to take a pay cut. Another point here is, um, it all depends on which skill set in IT you want to transition to. So
Mhm.
if you, for example, if you are trying to go into data science or machine learning field, the compensation is amazing. Okay, it will start from six figure or more. It may take a little bit more time to learn and develop the expertise, but at the end of the day, it's totally worth of the time and the money as well.
Mm.
So that's what I would say. It's not always true that you have to take the major pay cut.
Mhm. Absolutely, especially if you're coming from a field that's not quite as technical, not quite as in demand. So you brought up artificial intelligence and machine learning, and I think that's something we didn't really touch on as much in the last episode. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how someone coming from a non-technical background has barely opened up Chat GPT, and that's the level of experience in, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Where would one start, and what should one expect between that point and the point that they actually get hired for a full-time position?
Okay, so great question. And I was researching on this particular question a couple of weeks back, and you asked the question. So the very good starting point for someone who is coming from non-IT background, but they have they have aspiration to go into AI ML or chat GPT field. So data analyst is a very good starting point because it will not get them bogged down by the amount of uh, learning. The learning curve is not that much, but once they learn the data analytics skills like SQL or Excel. Excel, everybody works in Excel. I mean, even though you are not coming from IT background, you will work on Excel, right? The basic Excel skills. Then
Mhm.
basic mathematics. These three, four skills you can easily learn without going into deep programming or coding learning. Once you are comfortable with that, if you get a job in that, then you can go to the next level. So data analyst role would be a good starting point, but
Mhm.
there will be learning curve because learning SQL is also not that easy, but it's
Mm,
not difficult as well. As I said earlier, just take one day at a time. Don't
mm,
get overwhelmed with hundreds of topics.
So it sounds like data analytics, maybe take some courses or get a certificate, do some projects, get into a job as a data analyst. And then from there, what's their next step to say, okay, now I'm going to learn? Like, do they now take a course or certificate program in machine learning?
Yes, so there are multiple options to learn. If they have financial challenges, they don't have much money to spend on paid trainings.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people who have created the complete playlist on YouTube,
Mm,
starting from the roadmap, like what are the different skill set that you need to learn to become a successful data analyst. uh, from there, they have detailed playlist for every skill. I mentioned about SQL, right? So
mhm,
they have like 15, 20 videos, short videos, step by step videos to teach how to learn SQL, how to learn basic mathematics. So you
mm,
can leverage those. I can share the links to couple of those training videos.
mm,
If you don't have financial challenges, if you have some, money to spend on paid courses, then you can try Data Camp, which is a very good portal to learn. It's like interactive learning. You can watch the videos, and side by side, you can practice what they are teaching.
mm,
And it's not expensive also, because it's self-paced. It's not like instructor-led videos. So you can leverage that. If you want to go a full-fledged program where you will be part of a group, and they will teach you live, where you can clarify your doubts as well. It will be little expensive. If you have that kind of money, you can leverage that. I can share some of the resources for that as well.
mhm,
But at the end of the day, depending on your inspirational attitude or learning attitude, 6 to 8 months down the line, you will be able to land a job. I'm sure about that. It all depends on you.
Yeah. One of the things that the last few sentences of that you mentioned is that some of these positions are absolutely life-changing, right? For some folks that are either coming from a background or circumstantially, they're just not in a position to make a lot of money. If you are able to put in the work and the effort to learn the skill set, it's not 4 years. It's
Yeah.
4 to 6 months, right? And
Yeah.
there is an investment for some of it. Am I right in saying that it's somewhere between 4 and 15,000, depending on the program you choose?
Um, I mean, it depends. I mentioned about the data camp, right? So that's
Yeah.
like $140 per year for the entire subscription. And
Hmm.
and their content is top notch. If you
Mm.
are disciplined, you can watch the videos on your own. You don't need motivation. I think Data Camp is the best training resource for data science and data analytics.
Really? What are your
Yes.
thoughts? So I've been researching this too. What are your thoughts between, I haven't seen too much in data camp. I need to go and do some research on that. But what are your thoughts between data camp and like these Google certificates that are coming out that have been out really for a couple years now?
So here is my opinion. I mean, to do the Google certification, you need to develop the skill, right?
Mhm.
So you have to attend some training program, and you attend, and if you attend those training programs, you will develop your skill. Then you will go for the certification. So certification, earning a certification will add to your profile, to your resume.
Mhm.
It may not necessarily give you a job or land you a job. So the primary focus should be on learning or developing a skill.
Mhm.
Once you learn or develop a skill, you can easily, get that certification clear. But don't give more emphasis on, doing the certification.
Mm-hmm.
There are few certifications which are very important. For example, if you want to become a Google Cloud Architect,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's very difficult to pass. You will have to study too much. You have to learn a lot of things. So for those kind of certification, I would agree you can focus more on earning that certification. But compared to that, like data analytics and data science, you focus more on learnings rather
Mm-hmm.
than just earning a certification.
Okay, that's great insight, right? That, and this is something that if you're listening and you're thinking, well, what do I go for and which one do I choose? It sounds like it varies by, skill set, by industry, by position. And this might be
Yes.
a great opportunity for you to make some phone calls to people that are in the position or decision makers for the position you're interested in and get the kind of the lowdown on what's valued. Do you want projects? Do you want a specific certification? Is that kind of the seal of approval, or is it a combination of both that's really necessary in order to get that first position?
Exactly. I mean, in certain job descriptions, they will mention that if you have this certification, you will get advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen any job description where they mandatorily need a certification that
Mm-hmm.
you might have. If you have, it's good. But again, I will go back to the skill set. And you
Yep.
were asking about the instructor-led um, training program, right? So that varies. The cost varies from 6,000, 7,000 to 12,000, 14,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you should start with YouTube. This is my suggestion. You should start with YouTube. Get yourself comfortable. Once you are comfortable, then try self-paced course because those are cheaper and the content is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest if you are not disciplined, you cannot get yourself motivated on your own, then only go for instructor-led course.
It's a great point that you make because, you know, similar to when we first made our career decisions when we were in college, however long that was,
Right,
however long ago that was, when we made those decisions, we didn't always know what was on the other side of those 4 years of education, right? And so even though it's only 6 months, you want to know what's on the other side of that. And if you're, going to pay $4,000 because the title looks good and you've heard good things,
right,
but then you get into the first class and realize that the actual day-to-day tasks you'll be doing you're not interested in,
right.
we're back to square one.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. So YouTube has tons of content. Just go there, explore, and I can help, if you know anyone who is, aspiring to become a data scientist or trying to pivoting into the IT field, I can help. I can help with the, sharing the resources from YouTube. If we talk about certifications, if you are, depending on the skill, if you are, for example, looking to develop the cloud skills, okay, I mean every company is moving to cloud because private data centers are becoming expensive, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
a good skill to learn. But in order to learn that, you can go for certification from Microsoft Azure. if
Mm-hmm.
if your company or the company you're targeting to, they are implementing Microsoft Azure. Otherwise, if they are utilizing Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, or GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform. So depending on that, you can take up the certification. Those are really good and not easy to pass. I myself has taken one Microsoft Azure certification, so I can. That was a very basic certification, but the
Mm-hmm.
amount of training and practicing I had to do to clear that was pretty good. So don't take any such certification lightly. Uh, Take good amount of time to read the content, practice the practice test. That is from cloud perspective. And if you are going for data science, every cloud company I named, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, they do have the data related certification as well. So you can take up those, as you mentioned a while ago about Google Analytics certification, right?
Mhm.
So all those certification are pretty good. They have good credentials, but again, don't get bogged down by the earning of those certification,
Mm.
because I have seen people who focus more on earning the certification rather than learning the skill, and there
Mhm.
are ways to clear those certification without learning it. So I have
Mm.
seen people like that.
Well, that's a recipe for disaster
Yes, yes.
because
It will
it's
not
not
take you
like,
anywhere. It will not take
no,
you
yeah.
anywhere.
It's not like, there's so much that happens in college, right? And there's all these assumptions that my biology class doesn't have anything to do with my, major. So it's fine if I just ace the test and then not remember anything, right? And there's
Right,
people who can do that. But I'm glad that you mentioned that this is not a field where that applies.
right, exactly. Have to use it every day.
Yes, you actually implement everything you're going to learn over the next 6 months.
Right.
Um, So another question I had for you is, I heard someone mention, and this is actually a general thought, that I think someone, when they mentioned it, I thought, you're not the only one who feels this way. So I thought I'd ask you, what are your insights around the current job market? Everyone's like, this is a bad economy right now. It's a bad market. How are things looking like for job search candidates in these fields?
I mean, we have to agree that the current market is not that great. Current IT market is not that great because of the overall world economy situation. But that is just a period or a phase. I would say it will pass, and we have seen that in past, right?
Mhm.
2009 recession, and before that 2002 recession. I passed out in 2002, and I've seen that that was the worst period, and we overcame that, right? So this phase will also pass. The upcoming period next year and following that is going to be solid as far as IT industry or IT job market is concerned. So
Mhm.
what I would suggest, all the job seeker who are already there in IT or they are trying to pivot to IT, uh, utilize this opportunity to develop your skills.
Mhm.
Okay, learn as much as you can so that once this phase is over, you don't have to start from scratch. You will have your skill, you will have your developed expertise,
Mhm.
and then you can utilize that to land a very good job. So it's a phase, it will pass, I'm sure.
I think it's true, generally speaking, too, that even in a bad economy, the beginning of the year is when more positions are rolled out, the budgets are opened up, right? So to think, well, right now we're in a bad economy, there's this idea that the worst times are the best times for those who take an opportunity, right? This is where you catch the wave and you ride it. So if you're right now, you're in a position thinking, oh, I really want to get in this career. I love working with data or I love working in IT. And, I'm worried because the economy's down. Well, guess what? It's going to take you 6 months to get the certificate and it's going to
Yes,
take you time to
right.
get the experience. So if you wait until the economy is good, it's going to be good while you're in class.
Right, right. And the funny thing is, the market is there. It's bad, but the positions
Mm-hmm.
are there still. For critical positions, people are hiring still. So just keep one thing in mind when you choose, especially if you're coming from non-IT background and trying to transition
Mm-hmm.
to IT, just choose the skill very, very carefully, considering, the future IT landscape. Will this skill sustain for 10 more years or 15 more years? So keep that in mind, but utilize this time to learn.
That's such a great point. And it also reminds me of the idea that a lot of times we go just the way we go straight into resume when it's time to change careers. I'm just going to go to my resume. There's plenty of steps before that to identify the right position so that you don't land right back here wanting to change careers again in 5 or 6 years, right? So there's that work that's needed. But like you said, not just looking at who you are and why you're going for this position, but also looking forward and seeing what the growth will look like, what industry trends are likely to pop up, and are those in alignment with what you want out of your life? So that's
Yeah.
great. Okay, so
exactly.
we're getting closer to the end of this interview. And so I'm curious from your perspective, what are the top two or three practical tips that either you have or have not yet shared today that you might recommend for someone who completed a technical certificate and is trying to get hired into their new industry?
Okay. So I think I might have shared a
Hmm.
couple of them in our discussion earlier, but I will just summarize. Number one thing I would say, if you have earned a certification, uh, you develop a skill. Okay, develop the expertise on that skill. If you, for example, um, if you want to go to marketing field, digital marketing field, develop your expertise in that field. Okay, even though you have earned the certification, but in interview the questions will be asked related to that field or that skill. So develop that skill set if you haven't done until now. Number two is, um, you may not get the job as soon as you learn the skill or you earn the certification. There will be a time where you will get frustrated. Okay, even nothing is happening, why I'm not getting a job even though after learning the
Mm-hmm.
skill. So there are a number of ways you can still be intact with that skill. Okay, I mentioned about reaching out to different NGOs or church or social communities, and you can do the freelancing work. Okay, the compensation may be less, the duration may be shorter, but it will help you to develop the hands-on experience, which will enhance your
Mm-hmm.
resume. And keep your LinkedIn profile updated. Okay. For example, if you have got a 3 months project, freelancing project in data analytics, you completed that. As soon as you have done that, you go ahead and update your LinkedIn profile, because 60 to 70% hiring managers or recruiters are going through LinkedIn. It's a very amazing tool. So make use of it. Another thing these kind of people can do, when you are learning your skill, you can start creating content in terms of LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
posts. Okay, so if you are learning maths, uh, for data analytics, you can start sharing your knowledge, whatever you have learned, or you can start sharing your SQL learning, okay, in terms of LinkedIn post, and share with people. What will happen? Say I will like that post or I will comment on that post. Everybody who is connected to me will see in my feed. And you never know, a hiring manager or a recruiter who is looking for entry level data analyst, they can reach out to you. So try to utilize the power of LinkedIn. I think these three tips I would give for the entry level data analyst or anyone who is trying to pivot to
Mm-hmm.
IT as an entry level position.
That's incredibly helpful. Thank you for sharing that and for summarizing those that you had already mentioned. This is going to be really helpful to folks listening. So before we wrap up, we've got one big thought, but I first want to ask you some questions. These are really difficult questions. Are you ready? They're really hard.
Yes.
They're gonna stump
Okay.
you.
Bring it
Bring it
on.
on. Are you a cat person or a dog person? A dog.
Dog person.
Good. Good. I like dogs. More of a summer, hot summer or cold winters?
Hot
Hot
summer.
summer, salty or sweet?
It depends what I'm eating. So different dishes, I have different preferences for salty and sweet dishes. If I have something like, there is an Indian dish which I like too much. It's
What's
like a
it called?
dumpling. Um, it is called
Mm-hmm.
laddu. Okay, and if it is made like authentically, then nothing like that. And there are things in salty dishes as well which I like. So it depends what I'm eating.
Clearly the food question hit a nerve. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. Physical strength or mental strength?
A combination of both,
Hmm.
I would say, because if you are physically fit, this is my
Mhm.
opinion, then your mental strength will come for sure.
Mm.
But other way around is also true. If you are not mentally strong or at a moment you are mentally weak, then no matter how strong you are physically, it's not going to work out for you. So you have to create a balance between both and make best use of it.
Good answer. I feel like we can go off on another episode on that alone. That was really good. That was really good. Are you more of an introvert or more of an extrovert?
So it depends where I am. Okay, if I am with my tribe, which is very close to my heart, I am an
Mm.
extrovert. I can keep talking and talking and talking. But if I'm in a new surrounding and I don't know the people, or I don't like uh, those people so much, I will keep myself a little bit silent and just listen and observe.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Very cool. Well, it was really good getting to know you and having these kind of fun, quick fire questions. I always think that they're just a fun way to get to know folks. And so before we wrap up, I first want to get your one final thought. I think we got your one final thought last time. It could be the same, it could be different. But if you had 1 minute that would be heard around the world, what would you say in that 1 minute?
I would say there are immense opportunities available in this world. There will be people who will doubt you and who will try to pull you back. But keep a faith on your skill, your abilities, keep faith on God, um, and stick to your plan. Create a plan, stick to your plan, take one day at a time. And trust me, you will eventually get what you are, aiming for. This is what I would say, and just keep it that
That
way.
is so good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, well, I know that there are people that want to see your content more often. Maybe they want to reach out to you. So,
Sure.
how can we find you?
So I am pretty much active on LinkedIn. I post every day, at least one post I share. So that is the best place to reach out to me, and I can share my email ID if somebody wants to take help from me to review the resume, want some help with interview preparation. I can be reachable through email as well. But best way to reach out to me is LinkedIn, because I have seen a lot of people lately. They are reaching out for reviewing their resume, taking help for interviews as well.
Well, Harsh, thank you so much again for sharing your time with us and just all of your insight and everything that you've learned as you help other people as well. And I hope this has helped many, many people and will continue to do so over the months and years. So, again, thank you for being with us.
Thanks. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me, Patricia. You have a good day and good rest of
You
your day.
too. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.